All right. Well, welcome everyone tonight to our Team Huddle. It's so good to see all of your faces. And just as we were saying earlier, I'll say it now on the recording so those who aren't able to join us live will know. We will not be having our Team Huddle next Sunday because next Sunday is Super Bowl Sunday, and I know everybody will be having Super Bowl parties or watching the game. And then also next Monday will be our Nation Zoom, and so we always, typically forego the Sunday night Zoom in place of the Monday night on that one time during the month. So next Monday at it's 8 p.m. Central. So next Monday, but we'll put a flyer up for everybody to see, but that will be the Nation Zoom. So a week from tomorrow, and it is at 8 o'clock, not 8:30. All right. What else do we have? Well, this is the last few days of the month. We start, tomorrow. We just have 4 days. I had to count them on my fingers. 4 days till the end of the month. And so now, it is time, to push for your goal. 4 days in Arbonne is truly a really long time. It is plenty of time to reach those goals that you have set for yourself. We never give up on our goals, and not even on the last day, because you never know that one person, that second person, that third person that you ask, can join the 30 Days to Healthy Living, will join your team, can change everything, in a split second. So that's why we continue asking all the way up until the last day, and then into the evening on the last night of close. So, so what is everybody's goal? As Arbonne Independent Consultants, everybody's goal, whether you're a consultant, a district manager, an area manager, a regional vice president, or a national vice president, your first goal every month is 2,500 and five new. I'm going to go ahead and mute everybody, just so we get some of that background noise out. All right, so everybody's goal is 2,500 and 5 new, and that's for new consultants. If you're a consultant, then the 25 and 5 new is going to get you into district manager qualification, going to get you into strong district manager qualification. If you're a district manager, an area manager, a regional vice president, or a national vice president, that 2,500 plus 5 is working your personal business. And we should always, always be working our personal business. That is how we grow. That is how your personal business will grow. And that is how you lead your team, by growing your own personal business, so that your team will then in turn watch and follow you and do exactly what you're doing. So if you have not reached that goal yet, there's still plenty of time to do the 2,500 and 5 new. And again, we do that. You will do your 2,500 and 5 new if you are asking, or if you are sharing the story with 40 faces every single month. So I'm hitting back on some of the topics that we started earlier in the month, because everything in Arbonne, what we do is very, very simple. It's not always easy, but it is very, very simple. And it's talking to 40 people every single month, sharing the Arbonne story, sharing the Arbonne products, sharing your story, and closing them. So that is what we do in a nutshell. And so through all of our trainings, no matter whether it's our team huddles, or you're listening to SoundClouds, or you're on the Nation, you're going to hear those same things talked about, just in by different people and with different emphasis. But that is what we do in Arbonne. We share the story, share our story, which is our personal testimony, and then we close them. Where does Arbonne fit in their lives? So that is what we do. So it is the end of the month. The end of the month is really exciting with our Arbonne businesses, because that is when we really put the pedal to the metal and really reach out there and stretch to meet our goals. So tonight's focus, I wanted to just talk a little bit about this book that I recommended earlier in January. It's called Exactly What to Say. And again, it's, if you have not picked it up or ordered it from Amazon, it's by Phil M. Jones. And it is it's a very small book, you see, but it is so excellent. I highly recommend it if you haven't picked it up yet. All right, so in Exactly What to Say, it helps us with the verbiage, because, we in Arbonne as independent consultants, we want to say the right words, the right things to influence people to join our team, or to join our 30 Days to Healthy Living, or want to use our products. So what we say and how we say it influences people's answer to the questions when we're asking them, to take a look at the business or try the products. So when we're using the right words, we do certain things in Arbonne as Arbonne independent consultants. When we're having an event, whether it's a healthy happy hour, whether it's a Discover Arbonne, whether it's a one-on-one, a party, whatever we're doing, we do three things. We share the Arbonne story, whether that can be about the products, or it's about the opportunity, or it's about our 30 Days to Healthy Living. We share the Arbonne story, then we share our story, which is our testimony, and then we close them. We find out what we shared with them, how that fits into our prospects' lives. How does it fit into their lives? So we close them. So those are the three things we do. And we, whether we're sitting with somebody one-on-one, whether we're having a party, whether we're, whatever event we're at, these are the three things that we do. And we have scripts for all of this. So there's a script for a healthy happy hour. There's a script that's a general party script. And then there is, a script for the business, for the Discover Arbonne. So we have scripts for all of it. So that is part of our job description, is to know these scripts and to be able to say them. And I highly encourage you to take the flip charts. And if you don't have one yet, ask your sponsor for it, because we have the flip charts out there for you to use the flip chart to keep you in line and on time, and making sure you're saying everything. And if you need to read from it, that's absolutely okay. What you're doing when you're reading from your script is that you're showing people that they can do what you do, that they don't have to know everything when they start their Arbonne business. Now, if you're a seasoned consultant and you've been saying the script over and over, time and time again, you don't have to use the flip chart, but it's nice for you to have it, so it keeps you in line, on time, and that you make sure you cover all the points. But you can certainly take these scripts and make them yours. I can assure you that Laura and Brenda, Tara, myself, we've done the healthy living so many times that we don't need the script. And sometimes we might not use the script, but we can use the script to show other people that, what we're saying, they don't have to know it by heart, or, have all that knowledge in their head. But the script is there for us to use when we're sharing with other people, because remember, it's all about sharing, telling the Arbonne story, telling our story, which is our testimony, and then closing, finding out where they are. And when we're using the right words, it's going to influence people to make a decision that either they'll join our team, they'll join the 30 Days to Healthy Living, or they will, purchase some of the other products that can change their lives. And so I just want to go over three different phrases that he covers in this book, and you can kind of see, and that'll kind of give you an idea of what's in the book, and I hopefully it encourages you to go out and get it. So, in Arbonne, we all have the same products, we all have the same opportunity, and we all have the same home office in Southern California. So, if you're ever on Facebook, and I think most of us are on Facebook, so if you're on Facebook and you see, oh my goodness, their businesses are growing so rapidly and they're having all kinds of people join their team, join their 30 days to healthy living. Why am I not? And so it could be how you're asking. It could be the words that you're using. And so just like any other job that you have, the more you do it, the better you get at it. So remember, there's a book, there's training in Arbonne called Failing Forward. And it's not that we're failing, but what that means is that you just keep asking, you just keep doing the things that we do in Arbonne until you get better at it. And you continue to do personal development that will help you personally get better, that your belief will get bigger, your knowledge in the products will get bigger, and your belief in yourself will get bigger. And the more you say it, the more you connect with people, the 40 faces every single month, the better you're going to get. And the more yeses, the more people you will influence to join your team or to, use the Arbonne products. All right, so some key phrases here. One of the key phrases is, I'm not sure if it's for you, but. So how would you use that? It takes away the pressure, and, people become intrigued because you've kind of taken it away. So I'm not sure it's for you, but, so I'm going to read a couple of his examples that he gives, which are, perfect for our businesses. I'm not sure it's for you, but what would happen? Well, let's see one. I'm not sure it's for you, but would you happen to know someone who is interested in trying our 30 days to healthy living? Or, beginning a direct sales network marketing business. I'm not sure if it's for you, but we have plans on Saturday and you're welcome to join us. So, I'm having a 30 days to healthy living happy hour on Saturday, and I would love for you to join us. I'm not sure it's for you. I'm having a Discover Arbonne on Saturday. I'm not sure if this business is for you, but I would love for you to join us. And then I'm not sure if it's for you, but this option is available for you this month only, and I would hate for you to miss out. So if it's an Arbonne special, Arbonne's running, one of their, specials for the first half of the month. I'm not sure it's for you, but this option is only available till February 14th, and I would hate for you to miss out. Okay? So I'm not sure it's for you, but, so that's a great phrase for you to begin, with when you're inviting people to different things. All right, so the next phrase is, how would you feel if? And so you could use this with the 30 days to healthy living. How would you feel if you lost 10 pounds before spring break? How would you feel if you got off your blood pressure medication before summer came and you were able to really get out and enjoy yourself? So, and you can relate it to the business. How would you feel if this time next year you were debt-free? How would you feel if this time next year you had earned the Arbonne incentive trip and you were able to take your family on a free vacation? So how would you feel if? So you're giving them the opportunity to dream, to really think about, what this would look like to them. So, how would you feel if you were able to quit your part-time job, in 6 months? So there's a lot of ways that you could use that phrase to help people. All right, then the third phrase that I want to go over is, when would be a good time? And I know the queen of saying this is Brenda, because I hear Brenda say this all the time. So when would be a good time? That's probably one of the biggest hurdles we have to get over, is having people make time to hear us out, to hear our story, to hear the Arbonne story, to hear our story. And so when we ask them when would be a good time, you're telling, they're in their head, they're saying, okay, there's going to be a good time. So you've already put it into their mind that there's going to be a good time. And so they're subconsciously assuming that. So they're going to tell you when's going to be a good time for you. So it actually prevents them from telling you they're too busy when you say, when would be a good time? So a couple of the examples that he gives is, when would be a good time for you to take a look at this business? So basically, I would say, when would be a good time for you to jump on a 3-way call with me and one of my business partners? So remember, the 3-way call is a great tool for us to use to have people take a look at the Arbonne opportunity. So when would be a good time for you to jump on a 3-way call with me? When would be a good time if you have a new consultant that's already signed up as a business builder with you? A question for them is, when would be a good time for you to get started? Of course, our goal is to get them started immediately out of the chute, but when would be a good time? And remember when you have somebody on a 3-way call, or somebody's trying some product, they're sampling some product, you always want to follow up with them. So when would be a good time to speak next? So you're telling them there's going to be a good time. So you're putting that in their subconscious. So and then when you're following up with them, you always want to remember that you don't want them to say, so you don't want to say, so what'd you think? You don't want to give them the opportunity to think negative thoughts. So you always want to say, so what did you like about it? If you sent them a video, so what did you like about the video? What most inspired you in the video? So you want to lead them to the positive thoughts, that are in their subconscious. So those are just three of the phrases. So I want you to really be intrigued about how you do your Arbonne business. And if we just tweak a few of the phrases that we use to open up or to close people, it can have a whole, big difference on how we influence them, to actually do the things that we want them to do. So that's our training for the night. And again, I highly encourage you to pick up that book or to listen to it on audio, but have pen and paper in hand, because he gives you just tons and tons of great verbiage. And so now I want to change gears for just a little bit, because we are coming up on the end of January. Arbonne will be sending out your tax form to you, and it's time for all of us to file our income taxes for 2018. And there's always some questions about how you do this for your personal home-based business. And so I asked Renee to give us some tidbits, some help tips to help us, now that it's time for us to get ready to file our taxes. So Renee, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thank you. Can everybody hear me on this new computer? Yeah, okay. So I'm not a CPA or anything, but I did listen to the TaxBot last year, that video, or not video, but SoundCloud. And I listened to the one that they just posted on our Team Rev. And they're very similar, but it's, he just kind of is updating all of his information. But the main things that I got out of it was definitely keep all your receipts and be very specific about everything that you do, whether it's mileage or food or travel or whatever. There were so many interesting, fun facts that he kind of rattled off at the very beginning. And I don't know how many of you guys have already listened to this, but I think the SoundCloud in total is a little over an hour, and I would probably jump on at about minute 15, and that's right when he really starts talking about what you need to know. The rest of it's kind of introduction and little small talk and everything, and then right at the end, he kind of does a little plug for his TaxBot thing that he sells, I guess. But some of the really fun things were, he had an example of if you had $1 and you doubled it every year for $20 for 20 years, that you would end up with just over $1 million I just thought that was amazing. That's like before taxes or anything. And he said, so the whole tax code, if that same dollar was doubled every single year, but then it was being taxed at a 35% tax rate, which is a pretty basic level of taxes. After taxes, instead of having $1 million, you would only have $23,000.
Wow.
So that's pretty amazing. So basically he was, I think, showing that example as everybody needs to save on their taxes as much as they can, because this is how much you're giving away to the government. So, and self-employed people have some of the best things that you can write off, and the government does that on purpose. They want people to be self-employed, and they make it easy for them to do a lot of these deductions, but you have to be very exact in the way that you do it. And because you're also being self-employed, you're also one of the #1 audited kinds of people. So let's see. He had a whole list of things. There was like about 5 of them that are some of the most profitable deductions. The first one was a vehicle. You can get 58 cents a mile, which is, I thought was pretty incredible. And so but what you need to do is you need to have this vehicle mileage and expense thing. And this one I got at Staples, and it has exactly what he said on this video, which was the date, the odometer start, the odometer finish, the total business miles, and most importantly, the business purpose. And he said you have to be so specific with the business purpose. So I just kind of keep this in my car, and sometimes I forget and don't do it, but a lot of my mileage, I have a lot of 10-mile round trip, you know, I'm dropping off or things like that. So that adds up. It seems like really little, but it really does add up. Every single month I have over probably 100 miles on my car, which again, that's not a ton, but if you had a different business and you were actually doing tons of mileage, you can write off so many more things with your car, like the maintenance of your car and actually even the purchase price of your car. And he goes over that very specifically. So not only the vehicle, but then eating out. He said that you can use 50% off your meals if you're with any prospect. But again, you have to have very specific information. You can't just say, I met somebody and they were a prospect. You have to say, well, he uses this funny little thing. It's 5 W's and an H. So it kind of makes it easy to remember. So the 5 W's are who you are with, what type of meal, why should it be considered to be deducted, where did you eat, when, meaning the time and date, and how much was it? So you have to be writing all this stuff down with your receipt and keeping your receipts, you know, very organized. I'm a pretty organized person, but you know, that's a lot of information, and that's why they audit people who are, you know, self-employed, because I think a lot of people don't get all that information correct, or they just, like he said, you have a shoebox of receipts and you hand that to your tax accountant or whatever, and he's going to look at you like you're nuts. So definitely keep all your receipts for travel, meals. Home office deductions, there is a ton. Like I use this little room as my office, but I really can't deduct it at this point because it's also my personal space. He was basically saying you cannot have anything personal in there. Like my daughter can't use my computer for school. I can't have these books over here. They're like my fun books to read. It has to all be Arbonne in this room at all. It's almost like I have to like lock the doors, and it can only be my personal space. And if that's the case, there's a lot of write-offs. Not only your computer, but your furniture, and anything that goes in that room could be written off or deducted, I guess. And then he goes on even further about medical expenses and how you can deduct some of that with your little business, and talks about HRAs and HSAs, which I'm not too familiar with those. I mean, I've heard of them, but he goes into depth with that. I would highly recommend listening to the video. And like I said, you can cut it down to about 40 minutes if the time is a problem. But what I basically have done for the last few years, I'm a receipt keeper anyhow, whether it's for Arbonne or for anything. So I definitely keep my receipts, and I kind of keep them in different manila folders labeled. Like one is like post office, one is GTC, you know, things like that. Just kind of narrowly separate them. And then I just get on my computer on a spreadsheet, and just list the different things. So I have GTC at the top, and on the left-hand side, I have my meals, my travel expense. I don't include my alcohol normally, but you know, all the things that you spent during GTC, your flight. And then on another page, I have all my postage, mailings, things like that, that would be associated with that, stamps. I forget what it all is. I probably should have printed the sheet before tonight, but so that's what I give my accountant. I give them that page with all that stuff listed on my spreadsheet, or maybe 2 pages of a spreadsheet, and then the receipts to back it up, all in separate things to go with each page. So it's fairly organized. I doubt he even looks at those receipts. He probably trusts what I'm saying, but if he wants to look, it's all right there. And at this point in my business, it's fairly easy to take care of that. But I suppose if I, you know, was like where you are, Kim, I'm not sure how you do it, but I'm sure that it would get more difficult as your business grows. So, but if you start now with these small little habits of keeping things organized, you know, come January, you're not like, oh my God, where are all these receipts? I have to go through all my separate credit cards. Like I keep all my Arbonne on one credit card so that I can, you know where it is. I don't use a bunch of different things. So anyhow, that does simplify it. And I would highly recommend listening to the tax bot. And really it's just the middle chunk of it. So, and it's entertaining. He's an entertaining person.
Yes, he is. He is. Thanks, Renee. And yeah, you know, I can't say that as, you know, you progress in management and Arbonne that it actually gets harder. It's just maybe each category there's more. I wish I was as organized as Renee, but I have a box, and it's the same box every year, and I just throw all of my receipts in there. But before I put my receipts in there, I put all of the details on the receipts. And then I have a sheet that I use, just like Renee, that has everything categorized. And so when my husband gives me a week's notice, I need your tax stuff in 7 days, I get my box and I get a big place, and then I get all my post office ones, you know, all my travel, and I put them in all different piles, and then I tally them up and I put them on my sheet. I don't send my receipts to my accountant. I just send him my sheet. But I keep all of my receipts and everything in a file folder, because if I ever was audited, that's what you have to have, is all of your receipts, you know, that state. And I've never been audited. I've been in Arbonne 10 years. January is my 10-year anniversary. So I've never been audited, but I've kept all 10 years of all of my receipts, and it gets a little cumbersome. I'm like, I need to ask my accountant how far back I need to keep, because I'd really like to get rid of some of that. But
well, that is why the tax bot guy is selling his tax bot. I don't know if it's a device or what it is, but you basically take pictures of all this stuff. It sounds like. So when you get a receipt, you take a picture, you put the information in right as it's happening, and then it's done. And then at the end, you must be able to print something.
Yeah,
like what we're doing.
It's his app.
Is it an app? Is that what it is? Okay.
Mm-hmm. You can actually turn on the mileage, like as you're driving.
Right.
It knows when you're driving, and it can count your mileage.
It'll calculate it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. They have you can do a trial. I think I did it last year. I didn't keep it, but it was cool. Like it kind of would tell you when it was on and stuff. Anna, did you do the tax spot? I can't remember. No, you didn't do it. And Renee, do you on the back of your receipts, do you write on the back of your receipts? Like
I usually write at the very top of them. Like especially like with postage, I'll say, this is just out of my head. I would say to Camille, I sent her an RE9 set. Mm-hmm. You know, and maybe even that I followed up and then a date or something like that.
Yeah. No, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have to say that mileage has been a huge tax benefit for me, because, you know, I do drive a lot, and I do keep a detailed. And, you know, my first couple of years, I probably wasn't detailed enough. But after listening to the tax bot guy for the last 4 or 5 years, I do keep a very detailed mileage log, because that is one of the biggest deductions that we can take, definitely, is the mileage. So absolutely. Well, thanks, Renee. Appreciate that. So you will be getting your I guess it's
Me too.
$10.99. I think that's what it is. You'll be getting that in the mail. Usually mine comes like the first week in February, so they won't be long before they come out. And if you've moved recently, you need to have gone on your page and put your current address on there, something I had to do because they will send it to the address they have, and it may not be the address that you ship to all the time because they actually had my address as my address back in Hot Springs, so I was glad I went and looked at that. So you might want to check that out on your website. So it's just under me. It's under your information about you. Make sure your address is correct if you've moved recently. All right. So now we're going to switch gears again. I have asked Anna to share with us and we'll let Anna close us out this evening. And Anna's going to wrap up. And when I asked Anna, what would you like to share? What would you like to talk about? And she had a really timely topic for us and for her. And I think basically what she's going to cover is, how do we keep going when life throws us curveballs? Am I right, Anna? I'm going to throw it over to you. All right, Anna.
Okay, I think everybody probably knows that my mom has dementia, and she fell a week ago and broke her hip and had to have surgery where they went in and started to rod through her hip almost down to her kneecap. And I think when someone has dementia, it's probably harder on the people around her than it is on her, because she's just basically pissed off most of the time when she's not at home. And she doesn't understand why she's not home. She doesn't understand why they won't get up. She wants to get up and walk around, but and then I had a wreck about a week ago, and it can get you down, but it's not like, I know I'm not the only person in the world going through a hard time. I can look at everybody on here and know that, everybody has life gets in the way of your day-to-day thing. And one of the things I have learned, I think, in the last year is you can't let the curveball that's thrown at you be an excuse not to pursue your goals. You have to keep being serious about it. It doesn't mean that your pace doesn't change. It doesn't mean that you might slow down a little bit, but you can't take it and just lay it aside and say, I've got too much going on, I can't think about this right now. Because if it's your goal to build your team and to build a business, then there's always going to be something that gets in the way. If you find yourself setting it aside for more than a day or two, in my opinion, that's too long. You've got to be able to do it when it's not convenient for you. My boss at work depends on me to be there every day, from 7 in the morning to 4 at night. He expects certain things from me. I have deadlines to meet. And if I don't meet those deadlines, I won't have a job. And so I won't have an Arbonne business if I don't work it. I can't, just like my boss depends on me, I have clients that depend on me. They depend on me to be available to answer their questions, to help them with their orders. I have prospects. If I'm prospecting someone, how can I set them aside for even a week? They're not going to take me seriously. They're not going to think that this is a actual real thing that they can do. They're going to think, well, if you can lay it, what's the big deal? So you have to learn to multitask and take advantage of the moments as they come available. I noticed even when I was sitting in the recovery room, or not the recovery room, the waiting room, waiting for my mom to come out of surgery. It was a huge room, and I could hear conversations all over the place. I'm thinking, well, I sat in the wrong spot, because the people over here, they're talking about smoothies and protein powder, and I can't just tell my sister, you wait right here, or I'm going to go over here and sit down and get involved in this conversation. And when I'm in the rehab, I'm going down the halls, and I'm seeing these young people with Red Bulls in their hand. I'm thinking, okay, next time I come up here, I'm going to have fizzies for everybody, because this, they don't know. They don't know until you tell them. And, you hear all the time that Arbonne is a gift, and it is a gift. And so if you're not doing it all the time. I mean, I am amazed at how often I hear Arbonne, or the thought of Arbonne, how Arbonne can help somebody pops into my head. I'm still working on stopping and talking to a stranger. Like, I saw two women in scrubs early one morning at Albertsons looking at protein bars, and I'm like, I don't have a protein bar in my purse. So, I'm thinking about making me an Arbonne throwdown purse that I keep in my car that has Arbonne samples and little baggies. And then when I go into the store, I just put my wallet in that purse and go in, and then I have everything I need, whoever I run across. But, life is hard. I know people right now that have children that have brain tumors, and it's just terrible. So, you do have to take a moment and pause and be grateful for what you do have. And I think it's important to take care of yourself, and that means eating healthy. We all know how to eat healthy, I think. Having a smoothie in the morning makes my life so much easier. I don't have to worry about what I'm going to get for breakfast. If I need to run up to the rehab and cut up my mom's food, make sure that she's eating it, it's easy to do if I have a smoothie ready to go with me. You have to take care of yourself. But I think the most important thing is to every morning when you wake up, take a few minutes and be grateful for what you have. And know that there are people out there that don't have just the basic things that we have. And then at the end of the day, when you're just laying in bed waiting to drift off to sleep, think back on your day and think of a few things to be grateful for. Because I truly believe if you take time to be grateful before going to sleep, that you wake up in a grateful frame of mind. But mainly you have to just keep going and keep showing up and keep trying, even if it's just a little thing. That's all I have.
That was perfect, Anna. Thank you. Absolutely. And, and I think I have said this in January at some point, the research and network marketing bears true that if you keep working your business consistently, and you work your business consistently for 10 years, you will reach the top of the company. And and that means you don't give up. That means you work your business. Doesn't mean you're working your business all the time, but it means you are doing it consistently. And if you do it consistently, you will reach the top of the company within 10 years. And now it's certainly possible and highly advisable to reach the top of the company before 10 years, because we all know that the view from the top is amazing, and it's the amount of lives that you change. And I think we all know, just based on what we've done in our businesses to date, what an amazing feeling it is to have helped so many people. And when you reach the top of the company, the numbers of people that you have helped, the ripple effect that you have created is huge. I mean, it's huge. It's not all about us. At that point, it's about all of the other people's lives that you have influenced and all the other people's lives that you have changed. So I want you to imagine how much your business will grow if you truly decide to do what it takes. And what it takes is sharing the Arbonne story, sharing your story, and closing people using, the right words, the best words, influential words, and not giving up. So if we do those 4 things, and we do them consistently in our Arbonne businesses, we are all going to reach the top of the company. And oh my goodness, how amazing it will be when we're all at the VP levels and we all have teams of our own, and we're all going on the Maui trip, the Arbonne incentive trips, and we get to gather together for a brief while, because we're all going to have all these other teams, but us here tonight will be able to gather together for a short while and go, look what we have created. Look at the lives we've changed. How amazing is that going to feel? So just imagine, just think about it tonight when we get off of here. What will your life look like if you decide to take your business seriously and you decide to work it consistently? You decide to go after your goals. You decide to do your brick, to sponsor 5 people, to work your business consistently. What will your business look like in 1 month from now, 2 months from now, 6 months from now? Let's think about it. Think about the lives that we're all going to change. And in the process of changing other people's lives, we end up changing our lives and our families' lives. And I think all of us here, have family, have children, have brothers, sisters. I mean, just think how us being successful will change their life. I mean, it's amazing, just the ripple effect. So I want you guys to work hard, work consistently on closing your January strong. If you need my help or you need anybody's help, put it out there on Voxer. If you need some verbiage, if you need a 3-way call, I mean, we're all here to support and help each other. So just wishing you all a very, very strong close, and go for that. If you've not reached 20 faces, go for the 20 faces. If you've reached your 20, go for the 30. And if you are on mark, go for that 40 faces for January. And when close day comes on January, do everything you can to finish your month strong, because how we finish a month is how we begin the next month. And so you want to finish January in momentum so that you will begin February in momentum, because Arbonne's going to throw us something out there for February, and I want us all to be able to take hold of it and run. It's like going out for that pass in football. You're running already because your business is in momentum, and when Arbonne throws out that tool for us to use, catch it and go for the touchdown. I know we all can do that. So just, focus, and go for reaching those goals here these last couple of days. All right. Does anybody have any questions or anything they want to say before we say goodnight? All right. Thank you, everyone, for being on this evening. Was that Laura? Did you have something?
Yes. Okay. I didn't get my consultant bulletin on Monday. Did anybody else get theirs last Monday?
No, I didn't.
Kim, it looked like you did, because
that was a VP bulletin.
Okay. I didn't get my consultant bulletin on Monday.
Huh. I don't know.
I just wondered, nobody else probably.
Nobody else did. But you know what? If you have time, call Arbonne tomorrow and ask them.
Yeah. I just wonder, maybe we'll get one tomorrow. I just feel like there's so much going on right now, and it's hard to keep track, like the green apple. I didn't know that it was not an evergreen product.
Well, I
if
didn't
anybody has extra green apple, I see all these. Do you have some, Stacy?
I have one.
You're mute.
We're not sharing.
I have extra green apple. Do you love green apple, Laura?
Well, Elliot loves it. It's his favorite.
That's funny.
Man, I would love to have some.
Okay.
That's what I'm
Alright.
I know.
My boys love it. I do have a question.
Go ahead, Angel.
If okay, so I have so many expired PCs. Do you? And I've meant to call Arbonne. I've called them, and I keep forgetting to ask this question. I hang up, and I'm like, I forgot to ask the question. How long do they have to be expired before, if you sign them up again, they're counted as a new PC?
I believe it's over a year. They have to be over a year expired. Does anybody else know the answer to that for sure? No, I think they have to be expired over a year, but I can call VP support tomorrow and ask that.
No, it's okay. I'm gonna call. I gotta call them tomorrow anyway. But
will you put that on our Team Rev Voxer?
Yeah. I started 2018, and I have some that never renewed in 2017 for whatever reason, and probably my fault for not following up. But I'm reaching out to them again. I wanted to know, would that be a sponsorship? So I'll tomorrow and let you guys know.
Okay, yeah, call and find out the answer to that.
Good.
Anybody else have a question? All right. Well, everybody have a great week. Have a great close. And we'll see you guys next Monday on our Nation Zoom. All right. Good night, everyone. Thanks for being on.
Thanks.
Bye.
Good night.
Oh, and thank you, Renee and Anna.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Good job. Good job.